Hey everyone, this is Ben with ExploreInformed. I'm here in Playa Mujeres, Mexico, just north of Cancun at the finest Playa Mujeres. So my wife and I flew down here from Dallas to Cancun via Houston on United. I found a $300 last minute one-way fare, United First/Business, which may not seem like the best deal, but I think it's pretty good last minute, just 4 or 5 days before our flight. During our brief stopover in Houston, we got to visit the United Club, which it is what it is. So I want to talk to you briefly about what to expect at an airline lounge in the US. So first, what is an airline lounge? It's basically a lounge, a club, a room. It's a dedicated space for some of the airline's passengers that kind of removes them from the rest of the airline terminal. United has their base United Club, which are scattered all over the country and the world. And United also has the Polaris Lounge for customers traveling in Polaris, which is their business class product, their high-end premium business class product. American has the Admirals Club, which again is their kind of base lounge, as well as some of their flagship clubs scattered in major hubs, which cater more to their higher end business and first class passengers, as well as VIPs, that kind of thing. And then Delta has the Sky Club. Most major carriers in the US have airline lounges. They have a network spread across much of the country and then the world, depending on the international destinations that they visit. You will find many reviews on YouTube, many tours, walkthroughs, so I can't possibly cover all of that detail in this video, but I want to talk to you specifically about my experience at the United Club and what you should expect if you're visiting a domestic lounge. It's kind of an important distinction. Many of the domestic kind of base lounges, as I mentioned, like the United Club and the Admirals Club, are pretty basic. You're not going to find a ton of amenities, you're not going to find a huge buffet or huge food spread, you're not going to find top shelf drinks. So I want to take a minute to kind of set the record straight and make sure you know what you can expect from those base clubs. Again, if you're traveling on a business class fare internationally or traveling in first class, you likely are going to have access to a higher end club offered by that airline where you will find much better amenities, better food, better drinks, showers, massage rooms, smoking rooms if you're traveling to the Middle East, all kinds of pretty crazy and cool things, honestly. But if you're traveling to a domestic airline lounge, you're not going to get a ton of amenities. It's still a nice kind of escape, I guess, a little bit from the rest of the airline terminal, but you should have realistic expectations going in. In terms of how we got access to the clubs, United offers access to the United Club if you're traveling internationally on a business class ticket. Even though we were only traveling down to Mexico, that is considered United Business, because it's an international ticket. I don't think American offers that same benefit. I think if you're flying to Mexico or Canada, for example, on American, you do not have access to the Admirals Club. I will double check that, but I'm pretty sure that is how it works. I guess that's one kind of bonus of flying United. They do offer access to the United Club if you're traveling simply to Mexico. Again, you have to be traveling to business class unless you have elite status or kind of other access methods like a United credit card. And that brings up a good point. There are many ways to access. You can be traveling in a certain cabin class. You can have a premium credit card that gives you access to a club. You can have elite status with an airline that allows you to access the club regardless of your travel class if you're traveling internationally. So there are many ways to get in. You can usually find those on the airline websites, but they do have pretty specific rules, so just make sure you know what those rules are. They will deny you or say no if you don't kind of meet the specific criteria. What you do expect though from a domestic airline lounge, you're going to find snacks, fruit, pastries, cereals, yogurt, oatmeal. You're going to find coffee. United serves Illy coffee in their lounges, which I think is not too bad, at least compared to some of the offerings from other airlines. You're going to find less noise than you will in the regular terminal, but don't expect a spa, don't expect silence. They can get pretty busy. They're not an escape or a respite like they're always advertised, but it is less noisy than the rest of the terminal. Don't go in expecting privacy or a quiet room, because you will not find that there. Most lounges will have a snack spread. We were there in the morning that had pastries, fruit, coffee, that kind of thing. They will have free drinks, including alcohol, but most airlines have a pretty specific set of booze that is complimentary, and they will charge you for other things. So they'll have a couple free beers and maybe a couple free well liquors. If you want anything by name or anything kind of mid-tier or top shelf, you'll have to pay extra for that. One thing that actually I think is maybe the most valuable, at least in times of need, is the customer service desk you will find within an airline lounge. Most airline lounges will have a customer service desk staffed by experienced customer service agents. If you're in a lounge and you're having trouble with delays or cancellations, you should visit them instead of calling the 1-800 number. There's a good chance that they'll be able to help you out a little bit more than the people on the phone. At least that's been my experience. Most airlines will offer a couple dedicated spaces within the lounge. They'll have a family room, like I saw a family room in the United Club. There'll be a dedicated dining and bar area. There may be a quiet area where you can work from a cubicle. So most airline lounges, while not very big, will have a couple dedicated spaces within the lounge that serve dedicated purposes, whether that's dining, working, entertaining your children and whatnot. So I think there are a number of benefits. You can get free snacks, you can get free drinks, you can get help from the customer service desk when you need it, but they're not spas. They're not luxury retreats. You're not going to be able to sit in silence waiting for your next flight, which kind of leads me to the value proposition. Like, I struggle a little bit with the value proposition unless you travel very, very frequently. And by frequently, I mean once every week or two. The lounges can get noisy. They can get loud. They will get busy. You will have people sitting in the chair next to you on both sides. The bar will be busy. You may have to wait to get a drink from the bartender. So they are an escape in a sense because they remove you from the rest of the terminal, but they can be just as busy and noisy as a regular terminal during peak periods. During the morning, afternoon, and evening banks of flights, they can get very, very busy. If you're there kind of between those banks, you may have a good experience. You may be able to relax in relative peace and quiet, have a free drink or a snack, and really enjoy yourself. But just note that they can get very busy. Also, they are very expensive. If you pay for annual access to lounge, for example, United charges $650 or as much as $650, and they do discount that or prorate that a little bit if you have elite status. You can also pay with frequent flyer miles. United allows that, as does American, but I'm not sure that's the highest and best use of your miles. You're probably going to get better value or a higher return on your investment by using them to pay for a flight. So given what they provide you, I would not encourage you to really pay for access, at least to a base domestic lounge like the United Club or the Admirals Club. But I would use it if it was baked into something I had already paid for. If I had paid for an international airline ticket, of course I'm going to use the lounge. If I have a credit card that gives me access, of course I'm going to go there. But don't set super high expectations, again, for those base lounges. You know, often day passes can cost $50 or more to an airline lounge, and I don't think it's worth paying that price. Again, I would use them when the access is already baked into something you have paid for. Now, I was focused mainly on the United Club, but the Admirals Club, at least in my experience from American, is pretty similar. I think the one lounge network that is not like the others is the Centurion Lounge from Amex or American Express. I think they do offer a nicer product, a more premium product. They have better food and better drinks, a better layout. They have better fixtures and amenities within the lounge, but they do also get very busy. Their network is much smaller, and some of our lounges are physically smaller, and they do get very crowded. But I think the experience and the product is much better. I don't think you can pay for a day pass to the Centurion Lounge, so you're only going to get access there if you're a card holder from American Express, and only for certain types of cards. I think right now that's the Platinum card and the Centurion card mainly. So this may have sounded like a rant or a bunch of random thoughts about airline lounges, but I want you to know what to expect going in. Do not pay for access to a regular old domestic lounge. You're probably not going to get a ton of return on your investment, but do use them, again, when the access or the cost of access is baked into something you've already paid for, like an airline ticket or a credit card. I hope you found this video helpful. I know to some extent it's been a collection of random stray observations. If you want details about a very specific airline lounge, I would encourage you to search them on YouTube, kind of right up here. Search for the airline, the lounge, the location, like the airport or the terminal, and you will likely find a tour or a walkthrough conducted by someone. Again, there's a huge difference between a base domestic lounge and an airline lounge that caters more towards international premium passengers. And again, there's a huge difference between what you'll find in the US and what you'll find elsewhere. There are much nicer lounges in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Again, I would encourage you to search Google or YouTube if you have questions about a very specific airline lounge. You'll probably find a ton of useful information wherever you choose to look. As usual, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at ExploreInformed, and feel free to visit us on the interwebs at ExploreInformed.com. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.